Welcome. You will be needing a stretch band or a yoga strap or some type of a strap to do some of the gentle stretching moves. So we're going to be doing a little bit of yoga, a little bit of Pilates, and this is what I call stretch and tone. So let's get started. We're just going to kind of shake things out a little bit. I want you just to kind of widen those toes and make sure you just have a full contact with the mat. Your feet are flat on the ground. You are grounded. I want you to roll those shoulders up, back, and slide the shoulder blades down the spine. Let your arms just hang. I want you to elongate the spine and elongate the neck by reaching the crown of the head up toward the ceiling. At the same time, the hands are just kind of not forcefully, but just very gently reaching downward. And let's just take a couple deep breaths. Inhale through the nose, belly goes out. Draw that air up into the ribs. And then exhale through the mouth. Again, inhale. Draw the air up. And exhale. And now we're going to reach our arms out as we inhale. Palms together, turn them out and press down. Bring those hands up. Press down. Inhale up. Turn those palms out, press down. 2 more times. Inhale up. And look up. Turn the hands out, press down, and look down. Last one, inhale up. And exhale down. And press it down. Palms out. Make just a slight, light, loose fist. And let's just twirl our wrists, circle our wrists. Your knees are not locked out. They're just a slight little bend to the knee. There we go. And turn and roll the wrist the other direction. Nice. And shake them out. Okay, we're going to go down to the feet right now. And I just want you to kind of just pad the feet on the mat. Just shifting your weight side to side. Spread those toes as you lift the foot off the ground. Kind of spread them out. There you go. And settle back down. Feet just maybe a little bit closer. Hands on the hips. And I want you to bend your right. Really, it's at the toe. You're at like a high arch, like if you're wearing a stiletto, okay? And spread those toes. And then place it down, and then do that with the other foot. Doesn't that feel nice? Kind of just get a little bit of very light pressure. Let's do that again. And again. Very good. And now, I want you to lift all your toes off the floor. So your pressure is kind of on the ball of the foot, but also on the ball where the pinky toe is at, okay? So I don't want you rolling inward. And then release. And lift all those toes up and release. And lift those toes up, spread them out, and release. Last time. Lift them up and release. Great. Now, this is going to challenge your focus and coordination and really just kind of fine-tuning into the body. I want you to lift your big toe up and press the small toes down. Great. And release. Try that again. Lift the big toe up and release. Now, you're going to lift the big toe up and then all your other toes in order, and then drop the pinky toe back down to the big toe. Lift the big toe up and lift each toe up individually to the pinky toe. Everything's lifted, and then drop the pinky toe and come back down. Excellent. All right, let's pad that out again. Very nice. Okay, so feet again about hip width apart. We are going to do in Pilates, what is their squat? It's a nice warm up. We're going to get the legs moving. So I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me. Hands on the hips. And we're just going to bend like our knees, like we're sliding down a wall, okay? And then I'm going to hinge at my hips. Hinge right here, flat back, and then just reach straight out. Stretch it like someone's grabbing your wrist and pulling you forward. And then exhale, bring it in. Hinge, back to that vertical spine, and then stand back up. That is a squat, but it takes all the strain off the knees, and it doesn't strain the back. And if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia or risk for osteoporosis, which we do get as we get older, they tell you not to do a forward fold, okay? You got to be careful about that. This is the safe way to do any type of a bending forward, and this is really important for you to learn for everyday activities. We're always picking stuff up off the ground, right? We're cleaning, we're picking up, we're moving things. So bend the knees, slide down, hinge at the hips, keep that back flat, pull the belly button in a little bit, support, reach it out, stretch, inhale. Exhale, bring the back in, hinge back to vertical, and stand up. All right, keep going. Bend the knees, hinge forward, inhale. Exhale, bring it in. Back to vertical, and press up. Bend the knees, slide down the wall, hinge at the hips. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull it in. And come up. Now make sure you have your distinct movements. Slide down, bending the knees, hinging the hips, reaching forward. Exhale, back in, straighten up, and then stand up. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Good, last one. Bend those knees, hinge the hips, pull the belly button in, reach forward. When you pull that belly button in, you're strengthening the core, supporting the spine, and stand back up. Very nice. I like that one. Okay, next we're going to do, now you might want to get a chair or something for this next one. Just have it next to you. It's a balance. And I'd rather you not be worried about your balance, so I'm going to get a chair as well. And I'd rather you do this correctly. So, in Pilates, we have what's called a Pilates V. You're going to put your heels together. And it's not like in ballet where your feet are wide, like in a first position. We're going to bring them in just a little bit. Okay, so it's a narrow V. Get those heels together first, and then zip up the legs. We'll tuck the hips under just a little bit. Press those knees, the thighs, and that just makes you squeeze your gluteus. So all of this is for our glutes, okay, and our legs. But you're really going to feel it right in here, okay, right there. Going to give us a little butt lift, okay? So the Pilates V. Spread those toes, get them down, and zip it up. Heels together, keep those heels together. Now the challenge is keeping your heels together throughout. And it's going to take you a little bit of practice to learn this. It's really not as easy as it looks. So we're just going to do a little plie. And just like before, I'm not leaning forward, okay, when we just did that little squat. So now our knees are going out to the side. Our knees are going out to the side. I'm going to close up my V a little bit. Down, tuck the hips under, and then we're going to zip it up. Zip. And you feel the core tighten, lifting, supporting that pelvic floor. And down, pelvic tilt. Tilt your hips under a little bit. And then zip it up and feel the lift right from the pelvic floor all the way up. Down, exhale, zip it up. And as you exhale, you're really engaging that core. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Zip it up. Feel it all the way up to the ribs. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. You don't have to do that with your arms. I'm just exaggerating this for you. Let's do 2 more. Are you starting to feel it right in the buttocks? Oh, so good. Nice. Okay, so relax for a second. Woo! The more you practice that, the better you'll be able to fine tune it and really feel it. With Pilates, we don't have to do high volume reps. If you're doing it correctly, you're going to feel it within the first few reps. And then we do it through really good engaged core, and we get so much out of it when we don't have to do high volume. Now, we're going to do a releve. Hello, ballet. Keep those heels together. And releve just means to lift up. So zip. Squeeze a little bit, pull in the belly, everything tightens. Try to keep your heels together as we raise up. This is hard. Keep those heels together. See, my knees are slightly bent, and then I lower back down. I am not removing that tension. I'm zipped up. There is tension. Zip from my knees all the way up, and from my heels all the way up, because my heels are pressed together, keeping everything pressed together as I releve up and lower down. And again, don't worry about balance right now. Worry about, just think about the technique. Exhale. Inhale. So why are we exhaling as we're lifting? Because that's the hard phase. And then we're lowering. Inhale. Exhale. Can you feel that in your glutes? Right where the underwear line is. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Two more. Exhale. Inhale. Last one. Exhale. And inhale. Woo! Shake that out. All right, so that is an introduction to a nice plie series. We are going to learn more in upcoming weeks. All right, we're going down to the ground. So make sure you have your mat, you have your strap close by. There we go. Got my yoga strap. And let's come on down. All righty, so I'll tell you what, mat work is my favorite. I work hard, but I'm laying down. What a great combination. So we're gonna roll down, ease yourself down gently. There we go, bend those knees. And I'm gonna just talk a little bit about our spine. So I have my hands up here. You can have your hands down so you can see my back. And that's why I wear this very fitting clothing so you can see what's going on. So our spine has a natural curvature to it, okay? And right in that low back, there's a little bit of a gap right there. Okay, there should be. That's good. That's called your neutral spine. When we push our pelvis, our pelvic bone forward, pushing that tailbone down into the ground. So see, this is neutral, and now my pelvis is tilted forward, an anterior tilt. I'm having a lot more arch right here, okay? So that's an anterior pelvic tilt, and you have a sway back or an arch in your back. And then we're going to go back to neutral, and now I'm gonna do a pelvic tilt, do that with me, and you press your low back into the ground, so it's like your tailbone is almost lifting off the ground. It's not off the ground, but it's lifting, it's tilting into a pelvic. This is what, when you say pelvic tilt, this is what most of us think of, but it's really a posterior pelvic tilt. And then let's go back to our neutral. All right, so I'm gonna put my hands up here just so that you can see my spine. You can have your hands wherever you want, out to the side, down by your side, does not matter. Okay, so let's do our anterior pelvic tilt, getting that arch, and then exhale into the posterior pelvic tilt. And inhale, anterior pelvic tilt, exhale, pull that belly button in, posterior. And let's do that 4 more times. Just work at your own pace, loosening up our pelvic girdle. Mobility of the spine is really, really important, and we're just doing some baby steps this morning. How about 1 more time? I want you to get used to moving the pelvic girdle. And after that posterior pelvic tilt, let's settle back into our neutral spine. Great. I want you to rock side to side a little bit. Do you feel two bones in there? It's on either side of the spine. Those are your sits bones. When you're sitting down, you're going to feel two bones. That's the base of the sits bone, but this is kind of the top. And I just want you to feel those two bones, and I want you to settle on both of them. So don't be, notice if you're leaning to one side or the other side. Okay, we want you to find that space right in the middle so both bones are resting equally. All righty. So what we're going to do next is we're going to try to further loosen up the pelvic girdle. And I want you to imagine a big salad bowl plopped right on your lower belly, okay, right in here. And that salad bowl, you can make a diamond with your pinky and your thumb and just place it down here, actually flat hands, okay? So this salad bowl, we're going to dress the bowl. We're going to put our dressing in there and we're going to line it, okay? We want to get all the edges. So we're going to kind of roll the salad bowl, all right? So we've got our salad bowl, and we don't want that salad oil to drop out, so we're going to control it. So what we're going to do, let's start with a anterior pelvic tilt. So now the oil is going forward, and then we're going to roll to the left, and the oil's going toward the left, and our right hip's coming up ever so slightly, not much. And then we're going to do our posterior pelvic tilt, and it's coming towards you. And then we're going to lift the left hip and we're dropping the right hip and it rolls this way. And then we're going forward again. So just circle the hips. It's not a big movement. It's very small. You're really just trying to connect with the mat in a circular, the size of that big salad bowl on the mat. Okay? Are you getting it? This sometimes takes a little bit of time, and then sometimes just don't think about it. Just let your body do it. And then to make things a little more challenging, go the other direction. There we go. So nice. And you can see your fingers and your hands. You can see that they're rotating, they're changing, they're lifting and dropping as you move around. And let's just settle right back into the center. Okay, so that's a really nice warm-up for the pelvic girdle. I'm going to place my hands down by my side now. I'm going to pick my feet up, and I want to bring them just ever so slightly closer to my heels toward my bottom. And there's a little gap in between your knees. If you start feeling your knees collapse together, you can put a little pillow or one of those little Pilates balls in there. We're not going to do that today. What I want you to do next is to tuck your shoulder blades under and open up your chest a little bit. Feel that stretch? We're looking up at the ceiling. We're going to do a posterior pelvic tilt, and we're going to roll all the way up into a bridge. So we're going to lift from the tailbone one vertebrae at a time. So lifting that spine one vertebrae at a time until we are clear of the ground. The weight is on the bottom of the shoulder blades. We're not putting any stress on the neck, and we've cleared the mat. You're going to feel a little stretch at the front of your hips. That's nice. And then we're going to lower back down, reversing. So the higher vertebrae roll down first, and then singly, one by one, they just roll back down. We call that articulation. Let's try that again. Tailbone, rolling, lifting up, one vertebrae at the time. Articulating as high as you can go. That's comfortable. Try to open up these hips. Inhale and reverse back down. I've had an instructor describe this as lifting a strand of pearls. So you lift from the bottom one pearl at a time. So lifting at the tailbone pearl and then rolling each pearl up one at a time. And now it's kind of vertical. You still have some pearls on the ground. And then we lower each pearl one at a time until that strand of pearls is flat. Again, two more times. Articulate, roll up. Open up those hip flexors, press through the heels. Now, as you press through the heels, feel your glutes engaging a little bit. That's great. We're not trying to squeeze. We're just letting the body We're rolling down now. We're just letting the body contract through these movements. Last time. Because if we do them correctly, the right muscles are going to contract. We don't have to force anything. Press through the heels and then roll back down. Very nice. All right, let's bring one knee into the chest. Start getting a little stretch in those hamstrings and glutes, which we just worked. Let's bring the other knee up, changing sides. Flex that foot so we get a stretch all the way through the calf into the bottom of the foot. Bring the other leg to match, and then rock side to side. This is a very nice, safe, gentle stretch for the back. Having your knees bent, make sure that you don't overstrain or overstretch. And then rocking side to side is kind of just a nice little massage. And then we're going to place our foot down. And let's keep our left leg in. And I want you to straighten out your right leg. Just see how that feels. Ease into it. Point your toe of your extended leg. Lift it up a little bit and reach it just a little further. And then relax the foot. Feel that good stretch right in here? Again, I love working and stretching the hip flexors. So this foot is flexed. So I'm getting a good stretch in the back of my leg, all the way down into the buttocks. Wonderful. Now let's keep our shoulders flat on the ground again. So take your right hand, opposite hand. The left hand, same side, just goes out to the side. And let's just bring that gently across the body. You should feel a stretch right here on the top of that hip. Breathe. And bring it back to the center. Change hands. Now my right hand goes out as I just gently guide that left leg over to the side. So I'm getting a little stretch on the inner thigh now. Okay, and my head is turned so I can see, make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. You should be looking up at the ceiling. Glance over at the computer to look at me. There we go. We're going nice and slow. I hope you can keep up with me. If not, don't worry about it. You can pause it. Come back. It'll be so much easier on Friday. Bring that knee back into the chest. Bring both knees up. And now extend your left leg. Stretch it out. Stretch that heel out. Now point that toe. Lift it a little bit and reach it just a little further and relax the left foot. Flexing the right foot still. Get a good stretch. Feel that in the back of the right leg and on the top of your left hip flexor. Okay, opposite hand. Bring that leg across the body and try not to keep both shoulders flat on the ground, okay? Your hip is going to lift up off the floor. It has to. But just very gentle. Again, feeling that stretch right in here. As we progress, we'll move quicker through the movements, but we're learning right now. We're not in a rush. Okay, change hands, bring the leg across the body, opening up to the side. Again, feeling that now on the inner thigh of your right leg. Breathing, don't hold your breath. And then bring it back up. Very nice. Bring both knees up. Hug your knees and release. Great. Put your feet together now. Arms out to the side. We're going to do some spine twists. So I want you to lift your heels up and then drop your knees to the left. And now I do want you looking at, so if your knees are away, you're looking at the camera. I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking to my right. So my head is looking the opposite direction. I feel a really good twist and stretch through my spine. Inhale. On the exhale, lift up. A little bit of core work there. And lift the heels and then let the knees gently drop to the right as we look to the left. Couple deep breaths. Relax into the stretch as you exhale. And now as you exhale, the second time, bring those knees back up. Second set, to the left, look to the right, deep breath. Exhale. Second deep breath. And lift on the exhale. Lift those heels and take it to the right, look to the left. Exhale, bring it back up. Wonderful. Okay, so now we're going to do something for our upper body. This is a really nice opening stretch of the upper body. So I'm on my side, and we call this stacking. My hips are stacked, my knees are stacked, my ankles are stacked. I'm not leaning back, like that's not stacked. Everything is stacked, shoulders over shoulders, hip over hip, knee over knee, ankle to ankle, okay? So you can have a little, it'd actually be nice to have a little pillow, or you could just have a little towel right there. So just have your head elevated. We're not going to do this too long. So our shoulders are stacked. I want you to keep your body, lower body from moving. I want you to reach your upper hand, slide it out, and reach. And then you're going to lift it up, follow the hand with your head, and we're going to reach all the way over and see if we can put it flat on the ground. As we open up the chest, feel that great stretch. Breathe in. And then as you exhale, reach that hand out away from the body again. As you lift it back up, follow your gaze and bring it back down. Wonderful. Reach out again. Stretch. And then bring it over top. Follow the hand with your head. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back over. Now stop at the top, bend your elbow, and dive down. Reach it out, lift it up, and follow overhead. Inhale. Exhale, bring it back over, dive down, and out. Great. Let's do the other side. Roll over, stack, bent knees, and reach it out. Follow the hand with your eyes and your head and open up. Feel a great stretch, again in the spine, but also across the chest. Inhale, exhale, lift it back up. Stop at the top, dive down, reach it out. Lift it over again. Hold that stretch, inhale. Exhale, bring it back up. Dive down, and great. Okay, come back to the side. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of core work right now. And again, I'm in that neutral spine, but I'm going to flatten it out just a little bit. Okay, so a little pelvic tilt, and my back is flattening. I'm not pressing my back into the mat, but I'm shifting because our back's going to go this direction anyhow as soon as I bring my knee up. So this is called tabletop, and this can be a very challenging pose. So I've lifted one leg up, and I'm at 90 degrees bend from my belly to my thigh, and then 90-degree bend at my knee, and a 90-degree bend at my ankle, okay? Now, I'm going to tighten up my belly. I'm going to pull my belly button in a little bit, but it's more than that. It's kind of like starting at the pelvic floor and pulling in and then drawing it up. So we start from the pelvic floor, pulling in. I'm making a little diamond. So the pelvic floor is this little diamond, and I'm like drawing like a drawstring, cinching it up and then drawing it up into the belly, okay? So we're just holding that right now, and our core is engaged, and I want you to put that foot back down, but keep that core engaged, and I want you to lift up the other leg. And let's check it out. 90 degrees, 90-degree bend at the knee, 90-degree bend at the foot, and bring it back down. Keep the core engaged. Let's bring up that right leg. Now, if you can, bring both legs up to match. Push the ankle bones together, push the knees together. There we go. I just extended my foot about a ½ inch, and I got a little better alignment right here, 90 degrees, ankles 90 degrees. And we're just breathing. Look at the ceiling. You feel your core engage. It has to. We're not straining in the spine. We are just keeping a nice neutral spine. We're not pressing the back flat into the ground. We are cinching that pelvic floor and drawing it up into the belly. And we're breathing. We're learning to engage our core. And from this engaged core, we'll do other movements. And now lower your right leg, foot, and lower your left foot and relax. Did you feel that? Right in here. It looked like you weren't doing anything, but you were. Give me feedback. Let me know how you liked the tabletop after the class. And tell me if you felt it. All right, we're going to do that again. Right leg up, left leg up. Draw in that pelvic floor, cinch the pelvic floor, and then draw it up into the belly. Great. I want you to extend your right leg. Keep that left leg bent and bring it down. And extend the left leg and bring it down. Right leg and bring it down. And left leg and bring it down. Lower and lower. Woo! Very nice. This is a very key component. We've got to learn how to engage the pelvic floor, engage the core before we start doing fancy moves. So whether you're advanced or beginner, this is a great review. This is a great teaching tool, and it's a skill that once you master it, all of your movements become easier. All right, we're going to do that one more time. Lift up into tabletop right, lift up into tabletop left. Press your ankles together, press your knees together. Draw up, cinch in the pelvic floor, and then draw up into the belly. There we go. Now, go ahead and point your toes. We're going to tap the right foot out, down, and bring it up. We're going to tap the left foot out and bring it back. So see how we're not losing that 90-degree bend. We're stabilizing one side while we're moving the other. That is the key to core activation, learning to do our movements through a strong core. Tap and up, and tap and up. Don't worry about your breathing. Make sure you are breathing. Great. Now, if you're starting to feel it in the low back, try to really cinch in, activate your core, and if you still feel it in the low back, it's time to rest. Let's do one more set, each side. Bring those knees into the chest and flex your feet. Very nice. That is a wonderful skill. And release. Woo! Let's roll over onto our belly. And I want you to get comfortable being on your belly. So let's just place our fingers on top of each other, elbows wide. Just put your head down, your forehead on your fingers. Couple deep breaths. Now we're going to lengthen the spine again. So let's lift up our right leg and just reach it away from the mat and then place it down. Left leg, reach it up and place it down. One more time with the right leg, reach it up and place it down. You feel like a little bit of traction, stretching the spine? That's another goal that we have in these classes, is to stretch and elongate the spine and then strengthen our spine muscles, our core. The core is the trunk, your deep abdominal muscles and your deep spine muscles. So we lengthen that spine and then we strengthen it. Excellent. So I just want you to leave your hands on the floor, press down on the floor as you lift your forehead up off the hands, looking down at your fingers, and then go back down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. And now if you want, lift the hands with the head. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. Bring your hands right by your chest. We're going to push up, bend those knees up into what we call all fours. I want you to widen your knees and bring your toes together. And we're just on all fours. And we're going to sit back into a child pose. That's a yoga move. And if you can't bend your knees that much, just keep the hips high. That's fine. Walk your hands forward and just feel a good stretch in the shoulders, in the spine. And as you're able, try to sit back on your heels. And let's do 3 long breaths. And let's come back up. Bring your hands in under your shoulders. Bring your knees hip width apart and toes directly behind. We're going to do some shoulder circles over the wrists. This is very good for your wrists. If you have bad wrists, you can take keep going. You can roll up a little washcloth and put that right under the ball of your hands, and that gives you that, or that just gives you a little bit of extra support. Or you can just kind of lift the ball of your hand up and kind of bend your fingers just a little bit and give yourself a little gap right there, and that kind of helps with any tension in the wrists. Reverse directions. And just go as big as you're comfortable. See how this kind of also loosens up the spine? But we're strengthening our wrists. Our wrists can get very weak and then painful, and we tend not to use them as much. And then they just get weaker. Let's go back into our child pose again. Wide knees, toes together. Sit back, walk your hands forward, and you can put your forehead on the mat. Breathe, and as we exhale, just kind of relax into the stretch. Each time, just find another way to kind of relax into the stretch. I'm relaxing my low back and my hips and my shoulders and my belly. Relax the belly. Let's walk our fingers to the left and sit back, shift our weight a little bit to sitting on the right heel. And we're getting a nice stretch along the right side of the spine. And come back to the center. Sit back equal over both heels. And then let's walk over to the right side and shift our weight onto our left heel. And feel that stretch along the left side of the spine. And back to the center. And just draw it up back to our tabletop. So, what happens when we get down, or heaven forbid we were to fall? And we don't want to do that, but we always want to be able to get off the ground safely. And you might be able to teach this to someone. We teach this to elderly patients, but I always like to teach this because we can share this with others. You want to safely be able to get up off the ground. And what if there's nothing around you? You might be in the middle of a parking lot and there's nothing around you to help you. So we want to be able to get up off the ground using our own body as leverage. So toes under, lift up your hips a little bit. Bring one foot just slightly in. Now we're going to walk toward the body, and we're going to place a hand is still on the ground, one hand on the legs. Tighten that belly, pull in the belly, push up, walk up the body, and we're standing. Shake it out. Let's finish with how we started. Feet hip width apart. Spread those toes, roll the shoulders back and down. Reach out, lift up, overhead. Inhale. Exhale, pull down. Keep those wrists together. Shoulder blades sliding down, feeling some stretch in the neck. Inhale up. Exhale. Pull their shoulders down. Press down, lift up. Pull it down. Duck the head this time, feel a little stretch. And I want to reach up. And I want to just stand right here. If you want to put your feet together for a little bit more challenge, put your feet together. We are in mountain pose, extended mountain pose. Pull those arms back. And zipping up the thighs, cinching the pelvic floor, drawing it up into the belly. Inhale and exhale. And slowly, palms out, let your arms float. Nice. Shake out those wrists, shoulders back. And let's finish in just a standing mountain pose. Close your eyes if you're able. Notice what's going on in your body. Your feet and toes are engaged. They're connected to the ground. They are our foundation. They are keeping us strong and connected and confident in our movements. Your muscles feel a little bit more engaged and a little bit more strong. How about your posture? Ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. We're zipped up. That gives us strength. That increases our stability, and our movements become easier. Open your eyes. Shake it out. We are finished. Thank you for joining.